a little windy. Hard makes it hard to film. They're dancing around. Hi, welcome to Oak Ridge Bees. Hey, this is Joe Newland, and I've been banging around this morning trying to put together a video. It's been a few days since I put one out, and I realized about halfway through it that everything I was doing was just kind of disjointed and it was mumbled up, and yeah, it just basically sucked. So I decided I'd just come out by the pond here and talk to you a minute about something that's been going on here recently. I've been involved in a conversation on Facebook, of all places, about different methodologies. I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and I can't remember exactly who it was, and I don't know who to attribute this to, and I'm ashamed of the fact, but the crux of that video was, hey, look, if you're going to adopt someone's methodology, be it small cell, treatment-free, different configurations of hives, be it a flow hive or a long Langstroth, a Layens hive, any of those. Those are all wonderful ways to keep bees. But if somebody makes a wild claim or makes a claim, make sure of one thing. Just ask them for proof. Ask them for their numbers, right? If you're wanting to produce a honey crop, and you're trying to go treatment-free, foundation-free, and you want a small cell type bee, find out from the proponent of treatment-free, foundation-free small cell what their honey production is. Because you can't put a round peg in a square hole. If you want to have a couple boxes in your backyard and you don't want to put chemicals in the hive, I understand entirely. You're going to use that excess honey for your own personal production, and I understand. You don't want to put chemicals in your hive, that's great. Just know that if you do that and your colony gets overrun with varroa mites, that you're threatening your neighbor's hives as well. Take that responsibility and know that mite drift and the viruses from those mites are what causes colonies to collapse. So somewhere in the middle, there'll be a solution for you. I'm a strong proponent of all beekeeping is local. I like local genetics, local queens. I spent the better part of the summer now trying to help a friend of mine who got on YouTube and was watching YouTube videos last winter and saw this guy who had this wonderful apiary down south, and he raised queens. And my buddy invested $1,000 in his hobby apiary for these wonderful queens this guy was raising. And it nearly killed his apiary. The queens none of them were well mated. And the colonies were absolutely collapsing. At the same time, he also saw some other videos about single brood box management. So he had these inefficient queens underneath a queen excluder, and even the ones that could lay out a box didn't have room for expansion, and this was early on in the season. And when I asked him what his overall goal for his bees were, he wants to produce a honey crop. And so my question to him was, so the guy that you bought the queens from, does he produce honey? And the answer was no, I think he produces queens. So that sets in motion a thought process of why wouldn't you buy queens from a honey producer? Why would you want queens from somebody who simply produces bees? I'm not a big fan of Italian bees. I'm not saying that to offend people, but locally, the Italians don't seem to prosper. They make a lot of bees. And I personally don't want to fight swarms all the way through the summertime. And with Italians, that seems to be what I was doing. They were putting a lot of energy and a lot of momentum into making more bees and making more colonies. Now, do I have some Italians? Yes, I do, and that's because I'm trying to increase the size of my apiary. So what better way to do it than with Italians who are putting a lot of effort. Now I'm feeding those Italians. I'm pumping the pollen and the carbohydrates to them in order, so that they do make bees, so that I can increase the size of my apiary. I can do splits off of those, requeen them with my local genetics, and that's how I'm maximizing my apiary size and at the same time maximizing the honey crop that I'm getting from them. So to kind of wrap this up, it's important that I get a message out that I'm not against any particular style and type of beekeeping. I think all beekeeping is great. I do know that all beekeeping is local. And I just challenge each and every one of you, when you're watching a YouTube video, a how-to, I don't produce how-to videos. I guess I did once. I did a video on how to make a bee vac that works for me. Not the only kind on the planet. But if you're watching a how-to video, challenge them. Challenge the internet experts, the message board experts, on what their production numbers are. How many hives make it through the winter? How many pounds per hive are they producing? And then do your research into what are the conditions in which they're doing those, and if it works for them, will it work for you? I don't have a yes or no answer, but I think more times than not, the simple advice to verify what it is that you're looking for will make you a happier beekeeper. Now I'm going to show at the end of this video, probably just over some music, hey, I saw some questions again on the internet about, is this goldenrod? And in my area in mid-central North Indiana, one of our big fall crops is goldenrod. We have a lot of goldenrod in certain areas. And right now the goldenrod is budding and is not yet blooming. It's not yet started. But people are taking pictures of some ragweed. And the bees are absolutely working the ragweed over. Ragweed's famous for pollen. In our area, it's probably the #1 cause of allergies, allergic hay fever. There's lots of pollen in ragweed, and the girls are absolutely pounding it, and they're bringing in tons and tons and tons of ragweed pollen. So I'm going to intersperse some of that footage because I was rambling about ragweed. But hey, look, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell so that you're notified when we put out a new video. I'm trying to get better at these and try to keep them more focused. In the meantime, enjoy your bees.